of bread. And this recipe in particular is one I've never done before, so we're going to try it out here. So you get to be my guinea pigs to see how it turns out. It's gotten good reviews, so preferably it will be a good sourdough. What we need to start out with, though, I'm going to read this off first I'll just do it as I go. This is my sourdough I've got sitting here. You can't see it probably, but it's bubbled up good. I left it sitting out last night. I fed it last night and bubbled it up good. And, well, I guess I better put my flour in there. This flour here, I just bought it, so I haven't even put it in my container yet. So I'll just do it like this right here. This recipe calls for 3 cups of either unbleached flour, whole wheat flour, or a mix of them, or however you want to do it. So, 3 cups of flour. This recipe rises quite a while, so hopefully that'll really make it a good one. This is a wild yeast sourdough starter, so I won't be adding any yeast to this recipe. So 3 cups of flour. Okay, to that flour, I'm going to go ahead and add my salt, and it calls for 1½ teaspoons of salt. 1, 2, 3. I've got a half of a teaspoon thing here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of mix that together. Now I'm going to add my starter, and this recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of starter. Sorry for the shaking on my camera. Now I will feed this starter. It basically has, I'll feed it and I'll let it sit out today, and I'll put it in the refrigerator tonight. This starter, I like it really well because I can feed it every day if I want to, or if I decide not to, I can just put it in the refrigerator, and it can be safe up in the refrigerator for up to, it says 2 weeks, but I like to feed it at least a week. Okay, there's my starter. Set that booger aside. A lot of times you may see my starter sitting out because half the time I've got it sitting out to work with. And then 1 tablespoon of honey. This is a little different for me. I've never, other than, not sourdoughs anyway, I've not added honey to bread, sourdough bread, so this is different for me. Alrighty, so that's all the ingredients that this has in it. Now I will mix this up, and it says you can put it in your food processor, your mixer here with your dough hook. You can knead it for 5 minutes that way, or 8 to 10 minutes without. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm thinking. I gotta add water, duh. Okay, so there's that. Now I've got my water sitting in the microwave. That's why I've done that. 1 1/4 cup of warm water. Waiting. This does say that this is a wet dough, pretty wet dough, which I like a wet dough myself. They tend to do better for me, but that's me. But I'm not one that does bread all the time. I just do it occasionally. I don't do it all the time. And it will take that whole thing. Well, that don't look like a wet dough to me, though. That's the thing about trying another recipe. I always try to look for good reviews on recipes because you don't ever know with them. I added exactly what it said to add, though. But it talked like it was going to be a wet dough. That ain't a wet dough. All right, my hands are clean, guys, so I'm going to get my hands in this booger. That's not a wet dough at all. Well, I'm beginning to wonder. I'm probably going to go ahead and knead this with my hands. Usually if it's a softer dough, I do knead it in my machine. But my machine is like 17 years old. It's a General Electric. It's a good machine, but it's just still at 17 years old, and I've baked a lot of cakes with that booger. So I don't want to put it through that with this dough. But I want to knead this dough for 8 to 10 minutes, and then I'm going to put it, I'm going to coat it with oil and put it in a bowl. And it says to put plastic over top of it and let it set for 2 hours. So I'm going to knead this, and I will get back to you when I get ready to put it. Guys, I've had this kneaded now for about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to simply put a little oil in this bowl here. I'm actually going to coat it with the oil. And I'm going to cover it with it says plastic wrap, which I've got this press and seal. I don't know if you've ever used that press and seal, but it is the bomb. I normally don't buy things that's a little more expensive, but I love this. So now I'm going to let this set for, it says to let it set for 2 hours, and if you want to, every now and then you can flip it and fold it. That's a surprise to me. I've never really heard that. But let it set for 2 hours. So we'll let it rise and we'll see where we go from there, guys. Set for 2 hours. Now it says to take it out and to fold it around. Forming it into a ball again. And let it set seam side up, it says, for another 2 hours. And I guess this time you don't cover it. It doesn't say cover it. So we'll let it rise for another 2 hours. I'll put it over near the stove. I'm actually going to lay this across it, but I just won't lay it down on there. So that's what I'm going to do. So I set it over next to the stove because it's already kind of warm over there. And let it set for another 2 hours. Set for another 2 hours. Got my hands washed up, ready to do this. Now it says for us to gently coat your dough with flour and be liberal on the flour. Shape it into a circle or a round shape. Lay it on some parchment paper. I've got a cake pan here with parchment paper. And it suggests that you liberally put flour on the top, because here in a little bit we'll be scoring it, and it says that it makes it score better if you do that. So it says really, pack the flour on there. Don't be afraid. Now, we will put our pan that we're going to use, a Dutch oven preferably. My Dutch oven's a huge Dutch oven, so it's too big for this. But I'm going to use this Pyrex bowl and put it in the oven along with the lid, and 450 oven for 40 minutes. Let this sit and do its thing for 40 minutes while this is getting hot for 40 minutes. And after that gets hot, then we'll put our dough in there like so. Pick it up and put it in there and put it back in the oven with the lid on it. So let's get this in the oven. Alright guys, I just got my hot bowl out of the oven very carefully. Now I'm going to take my dough, pick it up, and put it down in here. Just like that. Now I like to use, I've got these little razor blades. I've seen this once on another video or something from someone. But they use these razor blades to cut these slits. So that's hot, Tammy. That's what I'm going to start doing with these. And I like these little razor blades. My husband gets them. I'm just cutting 3 slits in them. You know what, guys? I can tell the difference in the extra flour on top being easier to do that with. So I've got that done. I just keep this washed and keep it put up good. And now I'll put this in the oven. I'll put my lid on it. I left my lid over there so it would stay hot. I'll be putting my lid on this and I will stick it in the oven. Let me stick this in the oven and then I'll come back and tell you how long and all that. Now that I've got my dough put in the oven with the lid on it, and I will bake it for 12 to 15 minutes with the lid on it, and then I will remove the lid and bake it for another 13 to 15 minutes. So basically 30 minutes in the oven, 15 minutes with the lid on and 15 minutes with the lid off, and then we'll see the finished product. Alright guys, she's out of the oven. She looks beautiful. Let me get her dumped out on a cooling rack and we'll look at her better. Can't wait. I am one of those people. Let me show it to you again now. But I got it out of there. Let's see. I'm one of those people. I can't wait till a thing of bread cools off completely. I've got to get into it. I need to make myself sick on bread before I bake it so that I won't cut it before it cools. Because I have to cut it. Which, you know, warm bread ain't nothing like it either. It looks like it's done pretty good. It feels good. Not the air pockets I was quite looking for, but I think I may have worked it just a little longer than I should have. But it might do better after it cools too. I can get it cut through here. Alright, there we go. But it's still, see, it would have been an air pocket. Look at that. It looks really good. It's really soft. I'll show you on this piece. See how soft that is? Very soft. Good flavor. I'll put a little bit of my ghee on this one. Nothing like bread right after it gets out of the oven. Look at that, guys. That looks good, don't it? And it tastes good. You hear my crunch? Got flour in my mouth. Very good. This is a keeper recipe. You'd like it, guys. You really would. So, there she goes. Very good bread.